This sounds official now.
Check that out.
So do we have to do the obligatory, this is your first podcast, we need to fumble through the first couple minutes?
Yeah. Well, here we are with Kayleigh Cleary of Star Combs.
Where's the camera? Where do I look?
It's right
To
there.
make it look like I'm looking at the camera.
Thanks for those of you who might be joining us today or 20 years in the future. This is my first attempt at a podcast / YouTube video.
Mine too.
And I invited Kayleigh as my very first guest. My hope is to use this platform to help realtors and home buyers to kind of get some more information on, number one, like how I as a new home specialist can help you in your business. How maybe we can talk about like why we're doing this and what we plan to do in the future. And then for home buyers, kind of more about who we are and ways that we can help you as well. So a number of different topics, and my view is that this will evolve into something depending on what viewers really want to see. So that's kind of how we're going to start out. And this, again, like I said, may evolve, so kind of stay tuned. So first of all, we're going to talk about Kayleigh, and my first question to her is, what did she do before being a realtor, and like why she got into real estate? So take it away,
That's
Kayleigh.
such a loaded question.
Yes,
And
I know a little bit of the history, but let's share that.
Well, for as many times as I've answered this question, it's still tough to answer it. So I was a nurse before I was a realtor. I've been in healthcare in various aspects since 2006. So for about 10 years by the time I finally hung up my stethoscope, so to speak. There was a couple instances that stuck out to me as kind of I'm not sure I want to do this for the rest of my life. One of which was I remember having a patient on the med surg floor, and he was in to have his leg amputated, and because he had such a bad diabetic neuropathy. And that morning for breakfast, I fed him pancakes with sugar-free syrup, and I thought, this is not healthcare. Like, why are we feeding our patients with diabetes pancakes and giving them sugar-free syrup and calling it healthcare when he's about to go get his leg amputated because of his such poorly controlled diabetes? So I had a series of instances like that that just made me feel like I wasn't contributing to the greater good. I was just kind of part of this hamster wheel of a giant business, and in reality, what we're doing with our policies and procedures is what makes a hospital money, what makes insurance companies money.
Well, that could be a whole podcast, couldn't it?
Oh, I know. And I thought, why, it just didn't make my heart happy, really. I just kind of felt like this wasn't what I thought I was getting into. I kind of pictured the little white hat saving lives.
Yeah.
I did work in the ER for many years, and I loved that. But once I graduated nursing school and had to start getting your experience before you can have the fun ER job, it wasn't my cup of tea, and I just didn't feel like I was contributing in a way that was meaningful to me.
So did you seek out something else, or did someone find you and say, hey, have you thought about this?
Right. So Robin Guernsey was helping my husband and I buy our first house. We were buying a duplex, and throughout that process, she had told me, nurses make really good realtors. You should be a realtor, and you should let me have my manager reach out to you. And I politely declined several times, and finally, after she talked me into it, Chris Stark called me, caught me one day where I had nothing going on. He's like, hey, what are you doing for lunch? You want to come in and chat? And I was kind of caught off guard and was fine, I'll come on in. So I did, was immediately caught by the energy and the culture of the office, and I came home that day and told my husband I was quitting my job. I was getting my real estate license.
Just like that?
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Yep.
Wow,
I did.
old.
I don't think I really thought that through.
Yeah. I'll say it's obvious that you didn't think that through.
No, that was maybe September, October. I started getting my license. I got my license at the end of November. I was sitting in a cubicle December 3rd or 4th when, what did I just do? my last day at my job was December 29th that year. So I just got my license and quit my job. And thankfully my husband, boyfriend at the time, was just like, sure, honey, I'll support you, whatever you want to do. And I don't think either of us had any idea. Thank goodness, like it worked out, and I loved it and relatively good at it, and
Yeah.
had a few clients right away that made me not regret too much.
Yeah. So how long has it been now?
Almost 6 years.
Yeah, almost 6 years. Yeah. Yeah. You and I started in the business around the same time, right?
Yep.
Well, good. So good little history there. Obviously, like people come from all different backgrounds. So it's always interesting to hear like where someone came from and why. So again, a big purpose of what I wanted to accomplish here, besides a little bit of background of you, was so how are you trying to build your business? What are some of the avenues that, well, actually, let's just mention some of the avenues and then we'll dig into the whole, like the part that we want to talk about.
Sure.
So what are some of the avenues? What are some of the avenues that you use right now to build your
my business? Well, right now a big source of my business is my own sphere and past clients. That's where the majority of my clients come from right now. More referrals now in the last couple of years than it has been in the past, which is great. So I've been able to shift my focus less on the grinding and going to open houses, spamming people with letters or mailers or what have you, and can really just focus on nurturing my past clients, my sphere, and those relationships.
Right. So, yeah, what are some of the things you do to nurture your past clients / relationships?
I'm a big face-to-face person, and I have 2 little kiddos. So if I'm not actively selling houses, I'm probably with the kiddos. So I do a lot of things that I can bring them along with me in a face-to-face sort of way. So it's a lot of coffees, a lot of lunches, a lot of play dates, a lot of mom groups. Things I didn't see myself doing when I first started this, but that's kind of what it's morphed into. It comes naturally. I steer away from doing like the networking groups, the happy hours, those kind of things. Partly just schedule-wise it's tougher with kids, but that tends to be a lot more of what I'm doing now is just working on getting face-to-face. For me, it's more impactful and more enjoyable to have a good, deep conversation with one person than to have a whole lot of chit-chat with a lot of people. And it doesn't feel like you've made much of an impact or had a deep, good conversation.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think those are really impactful. And I was talking to another realtor friend who said, yeah, if I'm not busy, I mean, he doesn't have younger kids anymore, but when I'm not busy, I'm out having lunch with someone. I'm out having coffee with someone. I'm out having drinks with someone. And these are all part of being a good realtor, making connections and building relationships. It doesn't have to be at a networking group. While those can be valuable, these are just as valuable.
Yeah, and I did a lot more of that earlier on.
Yeah.
And I am in a networking group, and it's the networking group I've been in since I started, and the group itself has morphed from a bunch of people who are kind of new in their own field to now we've been doing this together for a really long time. Now we get together with each other's kids because now we all have kids. So it's the group itself is also more from a like we're getting started, we're kind of hustling and grinding and trying to get new business to now like how can we just maintain and nurture relationships we have.
Yeah, there's no wrong answer, right? So as long as you're face to face with someone, as long as you're building a relationship with someone, every connection can be valuable.
That reminds me of, I don't remember who told me this or who said it, but something that I remember hearing a long time ago that was really impactful for me is you can't say the right thing to the wrong person or the wrong thing to the right person.
Interesting.
So whenever I meet with somebody, I try not to have any sort of agenda. The conversation will go where it goes. Usually we don't talk about real estate at all. I mean, I think at this point most people know I'm a realtor, so I don't need to like hammer that point home anymore. I always hope that I stay top of mind, but I never feel like business is expected on my end. I always hope it's earned. But my goal is to never have lunch with somebody so we can talk about, anybody's by yourself. It's always just like, having lunch with people I care about and not worrying about what I need to or shouldn't say.
Totally agree. Okay, so what else? What other things are you doing to build your business?
So I've been focusing a little bit on social media lately. I don't know if you've seen any social media stuff I'm posting.
I have, so.
Okay. So there it's working. People are seeing it.
And that's kind of actually what I want to talk more about.
Okay.
And like I said before, this might veer into something else, but I really kind of want to talk about your social media presence and you know
it's growing.
What you're
It's
trying to accomplish
small.
there.
It's still small.
Yeah. So what do you think your goals are for being on social media?
That's a good question. So I mean, when you talk about building your brand, I spent a lot of time thinking about like, what is my brand? And then I just realized like my brand is me. And when I'm in a sales position where, you know, it's just me as the face of my business, that is the brand. And I don't need to turn it into anything. So then that kind of morphed into like my social media becoming just me. And of course, there's a little bit of real estate sprinkled in there, but I try to make it as authentic and honest as I can be. And I mainly focus on Facebook and Instagram, and frankly, that's because I don't really understand how like LinkedIn works. I've never been on Twitter. I don't know how to use them. So I focus on Facebook and Instagram because that's what I know. I try to use them differently. I've been trying to just like study up and learn how the platforms work, how to be like properly engaging. And then at the end of the day, when in doubt, I just try to be social. You know, it's social media. So I should just focus on, you know, commenting on things that I'm actually interested in and having conversations with people that I'm actually interested in talking to, posting things that are actually going on. Of course, I like have started to like try to filter things and not post, you know, crappy photos. I used to have a rule where if I did a selfie, I did it one time, and if it was bad, it was bad. If it was good, great. But I started like, okay, well, if it's really fuzzy, maybe I should redo it. So I've tried to like increase my photo quality. I've tried to learn how to use hashtags, and this is also a work in progress. I'm still trying to learn it all and increase visibility. But the two big things I'm focusing on are posting things that are authentic and having meaningful engagement with other people and other accounts.
Yeah, I think that's all great. That's right on track. I have recently learned about Gary Vaynerchuk, and I shared that with you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you know, just kind of a short blip about him for those who don't know. He has become kind of today's marketing mogul. A lot of people go to him for advice on how to continue to build their brand. And when you say build your brand, as in, it sounds like you were saying, well, I don't need to create my brand.
Mm-hmm.
I need to build it. And my view of that is to enlarge the brand by getting more people to know who you are.
Sure.
I think when you're putting stuff out there that is authentic, like you said, that's good stuff. But how do you get more of it? You know, how do you get more people to see it? Gary Vaynerchuk, his advice is to be on more platforms. So Facebook, Instagram, great. I recently, you know, at his recommendation, I'm kind of learning TikTok right now. And I've
seen this word like 2 times. I've never even heard of what TikTok is.
It's, in his words, it's the only platform.
You never know I'm a millennial.
It's the only platform out there right now that could potentially be like a Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. That's the only one that's out there that can be that big.
Really? So what is it?
So let me backtrack. I'm also trying to do more Twitter. He's not so big on Snapchat, so I'm kind of leaving that. But he also said that there's a lot of younger people on Snapchat, so that could be something. But TikTok is the next one. His view on content is that you need to put out, and he's not saying just whatever, stuff that's valuable to people, 100 pieces a day.
100 pieces a day.
100 pieces a day, and it could be as little as a 1-sentence tweet. It could be as simple as giving some advice to someone's question on Facebook.
So you're not talking 100 posts.
No, 100 pieces of engagement.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so it could be 5 pieces on one Facebook post. So that's 5 pieces.
Gotcha.
But 100. And I think about that, and that's very daunting. But he also said, look, you got to start somewhere. So if you're only able to do 5 today, do 5.
Sure.
Try to do 6 tomorrow.
Okay.
And he's like, he admittedly says, he's like, I'm not that smart. Like, I don't have just this knowledge. He's like, I gained my knowledge from reading what people are saying out there. And I try to provide value to them in whatever way I can, whatever way that I can speak knowledgeably about. So that's kind of what I've been doing. And but I follow you and I see the stuff you're doing, and it's totally in line with what you're saying. This is who you are. You want people to know who you are.
Yes.
And that's awesome. I would say, in the Gary Vaynerchuk line, just do more of it.
Sure.
Just do more of it.
Yeah, I mean, I can handle that. Like, I would rather be really good at 2 platforms and then branch out. I mean, I could certainly explore other options too, but I like to follow Ron Swanson's advice of don't half-ass 2 things, whole-ass 1 thing.
Sure.
So can we say that on your?
Sure, why not?
Sorry.
Gary Vaynerchuk's every other word is F. So yeah, you certainly can.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of where to go. At least that's what I've seen from him, and it seems to work, and it makes sense. I've already kind of taken some of his advice and moved into learning about TikTok and changed my profile on Twitter to try to comment about certain things of value. As I've been reading books and listening to podcasts and stuff, there is a consistent theme in business, is that you provide value for free without asking for something else. You help other people. So Tony Robbins says you help enough people realize their dreams, and your dreams will come true.
Sure.
Zig Ziglar, you help enough people accomplish what they want to accomplish, and all your accomplishments will come through. The Go Giver book, I forget who wrote that, but that's another one that, just give, and all that, everything that you want will come back to you, as long as that you're not giving solely to get back. So, and that's what Gary Vaynerchuk says as well. Give content, give it all for free, give as much as you can, help as many people as you can, and things will come back to you. And so that's why he believes that those 100 pieces are all valuable to somebody.
Sure.
Maybe not to everybody, but you should try to give 100 pieces of useful advice, useful helpfulness. Doesn't sound like a good phrase, but usefulness.
No, I knew what you meant though.
100 times a day.
Okay.
And whether it be a comment or some feedback, a compliment about something, then that could be one of the ways to go.
That's a good target to have, because I've been kind of just posting and then following up with engaging with any other comments, but now I kind of have a target in my mind.
Yeah.
And if I'm not engaging with my own posts, then I should be taking that elsewhere and engaging with other.
And he admits that it's not easy. He's not saying it's easy. It takes time. But he'll also say, look, how much time do you spend on Netflix or Candy Crush or watching the news or whatever it might be? How much time do you spend on those things? Could you take some of that time and just be on social media and adding more value to people?
That's actually, I recently, in the last few weeks, started getting up early, like 5:30, so that I can have time to schedule my social media posts. That's when I sit on Instagram and comment. So I can sit through and read things and think of meaningful comments. I try to also engage if I get a notification that somebody's commented, I try to respond right away. Hopefully to keep a conversation going. They're still on Facebook, they're still on Instagram, they might still be looking at it. But I do take early morning time when it's quiet, kids aren't awake, and that's when I'm posting my own content. Or actually more likely scheduling it to be posted later.
Right.
because you can use your insights to see when people are actually engaging with the profile and you post it at that time. So
Yeah.
I'm learning all these things.
Good.
It makes it sound like I kind of know what I'm doing when I say it out loud.
One more thing, because you mentioned LinkedIn.
I think I have a LinkedIn profile.
Gary Vaynerchuk is huge on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Huge on LinkedIn.
Okay.
He says LinkedIn
More than
is
Facebook.
Facebook of 2012.
Hmm.
And he also says that people who think that Facebook is dead
Mhm.
don't understand the value of Facebook.
Sure.
Facebook was giving out content for free,
Mhm.
was allowing you to provide content for free anywhere, and they've now decided to monetize it.
Yep.
And so anyone who wants to put stuff out there and you want exposure, you're gonna have to pay for it now.
Mhm.
So, and the reason that people are willing to pay for it is because it's valuable.
Sure.
So Facebook is by far not dead. It's dead as more as a social platform like Snapchat or Instagram are now, where those are more about just kind of like sharing quick blurbs about yourself, where Facebook, you're not gonna see that. So like,
Right.
if I go on there and we're friends, I probably not gonna see that much of you unless you pay for it.
Sure.
So.
My business, you mean?
Yeah, your business. I'm not gonna see that much of it unless you post, or unless you pay for it.
Right.
You pay for views.
Which if you're thinking about like the spirit of social media being social, do people want to be spammed with your business stuff all day long?
Right, and that's
Probably
why
not.
people aren't using it for that, but
Right.
apparently there's still a lot of value to it.
So LinkedIn is like the Facebook of 2012.
That's what that's his saying.
That's why.
LinkedIn is the Facebook of 2012. Says you put something on there and there is massive engagement immediately. Yeah.
All right.
Obviously content, right?
Sure.
Still has to be valuable content.
Sure.
But it,
I think
it-
I have
it
to learn
grows
how to
organically.
post something
Yeah.
on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's a good start.
Okay. I
And
do too.
I think that's, for next time we can actually talk about
Yes.
that stuff if you'd be
I've
willing
already
to.
got lots of ideas in my head of things that I.
So
I wanna come
again,
back
for
here
those
and
of
talk
you
about
out there who happen to be listening, thanks again for joining us. I'm hoping that we can do this again, hoping that we can do this with Kayleigh again, because this was great. And I think there was some valuable stuff that we talked
I
about,
hope so.
at least valuable to the two of us.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know if it was valuable to you out there.
We hope so.
But thanks again, and I hope to see you again soon. And I don't know how to end this.
That should be the end sound bite.
And end. Let's pause. Oh,
You
wait,
should just
maybe
do
it's up
YouTube
here.
channel.
End webinar.